Chapter 15, Disappearing Acts. By early August 2005, I had established enough of a rapport with Vinny and members of his Death Valley chapter to propose buys of large quantities of cocaine. We flopped on his filthy couch in Hesperia. Bubba, a recent defector and the chapter's new sergeant-at-arms, hovered in the doorway and inhaled a joint. Cold emanated from him, like an open refrigerator door. He exhaled in my face and passed the joint to Vinny. My eyes smarted. "Come back tomorrow," Vinny coughed. "I'll have the cocaine for you." He waved the joint at me. "If you give me 20 now, I'll get some of this for you too." I nodded and reached into my wallet for the cash and handed him a bill. "Remember, Hammer," Vinny's words shot through me like a bullet. Who knew that motherfucker would turn out to be a government snitch? He shook his head and the room suddenly grew darker. A chill coursed through me. I remembered Hammer, a hardcore Vago imposter whom, according to Vinny, everyone trusted. Vinny described the Vagos' payback plan, their failed attempt to hurl grenades inside of a hotel they thought Hammer occupied. A group of them had staked out the place after dark, ready to unplug the pins that would blow that motherfucker up. But minutes before the explosion, a completely random citizen opened the hotel door and scooped up his newspaper from the hallway. Not Hammer at all. They were about to murder the wrong victim. I put the joint to my lips, feeling sick inside. "Sometimes people get lucky," Vinny said, "and sometimes they don't. Know what I mean?" As I drove away from Vinny's, the near miss replayed in my mind. Hammer was like me, like George, like any of us who risk everything for intelligence, for the chance to stop a terrorist organization. Vinny was not my friend. He would exact revenge on a traitor. "We should probably think about protection," George advised me later in private. "What kind of protection?" "Witness protection." His words floated between us, and for the first time I considered the notion that I might be in danger for the rest of my life. But I still had to do the drug deal with Vinny. If I backed out, I would invite suspicion. If I continued, I risked getting caught. The next morning, I contacted Vinny, as planned, hoping to collect the cocaine and marijuana he promised and be done. But Vinny blew me off, mumbled something about being sick from partying the night before. He postponed our meeting. I wasn't expecting that curve. When I contacted him again a few hours later and got the same brush off, I panicked. "Back off," Kaz warned, uneasy about Vinny's sudden change of plans. "If you pursue it, you'll appear too eager. He'll just get suspicious." I listened. I backed off. Maybe Kaz was right. Maybe Vinny had set me up. But several days later, Vinny pursued me, offering to sell me several pounds of marijuana, and I stalled him. "Wait until payday." "Good idea," Vinny nodded. "I wouldn't want to get stiff." He flashed a knowing look at his girlfriend Laura, who hugged the edge of the sofa. She averted her gaze, picked at a thumbnail, and stared at the floor. When she looked up, fear watered slightly behind her pale blue eyes. I couldn't believe she was still with him, still taking his bullshit. Her girlfriend owes me money, $600 from a deposit on a rental property. Vinny filled in the gaps. He shrugged, slapped the pistol tucked into his waistband, and said, "I think I'll just kill her." His tone, all business, stoic and cold, was no idle threat. "She's pregnant," Laura pleaded, her lower lip trembling. Vinny laughed, looked at me and said, "2 for 1. I dialed Kaz at my first opportunity. "What do we have?" A trim, pretty female agent from the U.S. Marshal Service, USMS, agreed to answer preliminary questions about the Federal Witness Security Program, WSP. George and I met her one rainy afternoon in a dimly lit warehouse that could have easily passed for a storage unit in a commercial construction zone. She shook our hands, smiled warmly at us, and briefly reviewed how her agency helped people disappear. "We've successfully relocated more than 18,000 witnesses since the program's inception in 1970. No one who has followed our system has ever been harmed," she assured us. The space swallowed her. Concrete walls boxed us in. She folded her arms across her chest and warned, "It does require some sacrifices." "What kind of sacrifices?" George hedged. "New identities, social security numbers, driver's licenses, names. We'll help with vocational training and employment opportunities." She flashed her smile again. "Think of it as a chance to reinvent yourselves. No past." It sounded attractive. A reset button for my life. Living in the now like an amnesia patient, only worse. I wouldn't know what I'd lost and be forced to forget. No trace deposits of my life. Complete isolation until it was safe to put on my new mask. Theoretically, it sounded possible, but I knew that 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. What would that feel like to never trust again? I don't want to leave you with the wrong impression, the deputy marshal hesitated. It can be challenging to create a new identity, but she convinced us the sacrifice would be worth the risk. Through our testimony, we would likely join the ranks of other brave and noble men who paid the price to crush Al-Qaeda terrorists or chill further mob violence. We still had to be admitted into the program. The government worried about liability. No deputy marshal wanted to be responsible for relocating a homicidal sociopath addicted to violence into sleepy suburbia and risk a murderous encounter with a neighbor. Mostly, my sessions with the government psychiatrist confirmed that I could handle isolation and invisibility. How do you feel about that? The psychiatrist removed her readers. She searched my face for cracks in the foundation. I know I'll never be a criminal again, I said with conviction. She smirked, twirled her glasses. Now I know you're lying. I didn't like psychiatrists much, and I didn't like this one. But she could determine my fate. It didn't matter how I answered her questions. If she didn't like me, she would find a reason to reject me. She stood, smoothed the wrinkled navy slacks, and poured herself a mug of black coffee. Are you telling me what you think I want to hear? No, ma'am. I'm telling you what I want to hear.